Discovery of the little Yodel people. Rebecca and her brother Robbie live in the city with their mother and father. They decided to sit on the back porch while they thought of something to do. Suddenly, they heard a familiar voice. "Children, what's wrong with you today? Have you lost your best friend?" "Grandpa, I'm so glad you're here," said Rebecca. "We can't think of anything to do. Can you please help us?" asked Robbie. "Would you like to drive to the country and take a walk with me?" Rebecca and Robbie let go of their grandpa and ran toward the house yelling, "Mom! Mom! Grandpa is here! Mom!" Their mother looked sternly at them and asked, "What is all this yelling?" "We need your permission to take a walk in the country with Grandpa," explained Rebecca. Their mother thought for a minute and said, "It's all right with me as long as you obey your grandfather and be very careful." "We will," promised the children, so they hopped into Grandpa's car and drove off. After they arrived in the country, the three of them walked for a while when they approached a ledge that overlooked a valley. "Oh, Grandpa, isn't it awesome?" exclaimed Rebecca. "Yes, it is, Rebecca. Nothing can match the beauty of nature." "The city can't compare to this," said Robbie. Robbie looked down into the valley and lifted his hands to his mouth and yelled, "Hello, is anybody down there? Hello, is anybody down there?" came the reply in a wispy voice. "I love you," yelled Rebecca. "I love you," came the reply. Rebecca and Robbie were both surprised to hear a voice repeat what they had just yelled. They looked back at their grandpa and asked him who was talking back to them. Grandpa looked at the two children and said, "Those were echoes. If you come over here and sit by me, I will tell you a story about them." Rebecca and Robbie went over to their grandpa and sat on the ground in front of him. "Have you ever heard of the little Yodel people?" he asked Grandpa. Both children had a puzzled look on their face and shook their heads no. "When I was a boy, not much older than you, Robbie, I would come up here and listen to my echo. One day I yelled down into the valley and there was no reply. I decided to follow the path down into the valley and find out why." As their grandpa continued to tell his story, it began to come alive in Rebecca and Robbie's imagination. They could see Grandpa as a small boy walking through the forest. It had rained the night before, and the valley was very muddy. I was about to step into a puddle when I thought I heard a voice cry for help. I looked around and saw nothing and decided to continue walking when I heard the voice again. "Please help us, we are drowning. Help us," cried a wee, desperate voice. "Where are you?" I shouted. "We are in the water."